Alright, so welcome back again. My name is Jesse, and in this wonderful and exciting tutorial, we try to see how to host your MkDocs on a FastAPI endpoint. So let's say you have a FastAPI endpoint, and then you also write some documentation using MkDocs. How do you host it? So let's see. So let's say I have my service here. By default, FastAPI gives you the normal documentation using Swagger, OpenAPI, or with a redoc. Right, but in case you want to have your own written documentation that you want to host it, how do you do that? Let's start with it. So I'll go back again to my VS Code, and then inside here I'm just consider you have my simple, very basic app here, right? So I'll create my documentation. So I'll come back here. Let's open PowerShell, or you can open any of the terminal editors. So let's go with command prompt. Then inside my location, I need to install some packages. So let's install MkDocs. So pip install MkDocs, and then MkDocs material, right? Because we want to use the material design team for our app. Now once it's done, inside my location here, I will just create my documentation. So MkDocs. Then I'll just give it new. Then I'll give it a name. So let's go as my docs, right? Then once I do my docs, it's going to create this directory, and then inside here you see that you have my docs here. Then one of the most important things is the MkDocs YAML file. So this is going to be our configuration file, which has the site name, which is going to be a default name. So what I will do is that I'll paste in the documentation, the configuration, and then I'll explain. So you can check out the other tutorial that I have on how to work with MkDocs. So this is going to be the site name, description, and the author, the repository we want to listen to, and then we are specifying that we want to use a team called material. You can also use read the docs if you want, but let's go with material. Then inside the palette we are specifying two teams. We have the light team for light mode, and then you have the dark team for dark mode, right? And then we have added some features, some extensions, and then the main navigation. So here I'll create inside my docs directory. I need to create my index, which is this one here, and then I also need to create one for the API. So inside here I'll just create one called api.md, right? Now I'll put in my documentation. So I'll just paste in the documentation that I have to give it something that we can use, right? Perfect. And as you can see, I can just preview it so that you see this stuff here, right? This is just an example. Now in this case here that we want to host and save this. So how do we do that? So I can just come down here, then move into the location of my docs. So I'm calling it docs, but you can call it anyone. Then inside here you see that I have my MkDocs here, right? So you have to save it from this location. Then I just go with my MkDocs, then save. If I go with save, it's going to listen on port 8000, which is already busy. So I'll just specify my ports that I want to listen on, which is going to be -A. Then I can just go with localhost. Then let's specify 8002, right? So this is the port I'm listening on, and now it's going to give us this information here. Then if I open this port 8002, you can host it on 8000 or the default port, but this is on 1, and I want to host this one on 2. And you can see that we have my documentation here, which is very nice, right? With all the various things there. I can switch the team as I wish. I can set for something, and you can see that it's selected, right? I can switch the team so you see it well. Perfect. Now how do we host this on my FastAPI endpoint here, so that we don't have a redoc, only we have something else? So I'll just go back again to the application, and then inside my app here, first I will have to build it. So I'll just close this here, right? And then here I'll just go with MkDocs, then build. So this is going to create my site.yml file, my site, which consists of HTML file, and this is what I need to save, right? So this is what you'll be saving. So I'll go to my FastAPI endpoint, then I'll mount it. So it's going to be from FastAPI.static files. We want to import static files, and then we need to mount it. So let's import OS. We can use pathlib, and then I need to specify the path to this location here, because that is very important, because I want to save it there. So what I will do is that I'll get the current path, which is here, right? The current part is this file, this current file, this app.py. Then I want to get the directory that's inside, which is the current directory, which is this directory here. Then I need to move to my docs, to this docs here, right? So that's what I need to do. So I need this particular doc. So as you can see, we have the app, which is this file here. Then I need to move into my docs, and then docs and site, right? So that is what I want to do. Perfect. So in this location like this, now I have it here. Then I need to mount it. So how do you mount this? So first of all, I'll just go back again under my, let's reduce it so that it's small little. Yeah, I hope it's big enough for everybody to see. Yeah, so what I will do is that here I'll just mount it. So I'll just go to my app.mount. Then I'll specify the location. So let's give it some location API docs, right? That's the name I'm giving. Then I can specify that I want to mount my static files. So static files, and this one takes in the directory, and I'll specify the directory that I want to put there, which is in this case my site directory. Then it's very important that once you are specifying a static file, you have to specify that, okay, we want to save HTML, right? So HTML is equal to true. Perfect. And then I can just specify the name for it, which is going to be, let's call it as I say, docs. That is all. So this is what is required, right, to be able to save this one on FastAPI. So let's try it out. So I'll go down to my FastAPI endpoint, which is running already. Then if I go down here, if I refresh, we have everything is working as expected. Hopefully everything works. Let's check the logs. So it's telling okay, directory does not exist, right? So it cannot find the directory that we are specifying for. So that's why it's giving us this error, but we can quickly fix it. So it cannot find the directory. So the directory does not exist, as you can see. So this directory does not exist because we are in a different directory. So I have to go to my docs, right? So move out of it because I moved it here. Then it can find it, as you can see. Then everything is working as expected. So if I go here, the app works. And then if I switch to API docs, now you see that we have our MkDocs also on our FastAPI endpoint, right? So now I have three. So I have my docs, which is the Swagger. I have my Redux, which is the Redoc, and then I have my API docs, right? You can call it any name. You can give it a website, right? Any name, and now that is how to host it on your system. So all you need to do is first you need to build your documentation using MkDocs build. Perfect. And then you go to your FastAPI endpoint, you import static, you specify the location for the file that you have built, then you mount it here, right? And then don't forget this is very important. Then you mount it here. Alternatively, you can also redirect. You can also add another optional redirect endpoint to it, so that if the person can't find it, they can be redirected. So something like this. And then let's go with here. So I can also create another endpoint called API docs, including schema, so this will not appear inside the Swagger UI, so it will not appear inside the Swagger, so you not see it here. And then I can now redirect it, right? So this is another alternative way. So these two. So that's how to mount your FastAPI application or save your MkDocs on a FastAPI endpoint. So thank you for watching. See you another time. Stay blessed. Bye.